Well, hello, ladies. Hi, it's BSA RISQUARD Huntsman. This is a 2v3 on Sunken Jungle, our second attempt. We thought that we'd done so well, sort of against an all Huntsman clan. It was possible to do it against a random, 3 randoms instead. I might attempt it again. Actually, we might have another go at some point, doing it against all Huntsmen again. But it might be a bit more difficult as we'll have to adjust our builds and plan and stuff. But anyway, as you can see, what's going on in the battle. They've 2 of them have gone to Spain, and they've got loads of guerrillas in there, like set up in the trees, caused me a bit of problems. To me personally, I think it was a bit of a waste, because guerrillas, so even with all the upgrades, they'll last a little while, but eventually they will get their ass kicked and they'll die, and it's a load of units that you could have taken. I mean, more infantry probably would have been a better option, I think. But me and Z pretty much got a similar plan. Going to move up, take them woods over there. Z's going to take the woods that he was in. I'm still like trying to get rid of these guerrillas. I mean, I'm getting shots fired off at them with my line infantry and stuff, but they won't be as accurate because obviously they're shooting through trees. Z's dealing with some guerrillas that are in the woods there as well. The middle guy who played as Spain, he was a bit of a knob, if I'm honest. He took, I mean, they took guerrillas, and he also took 2 pieces of artillery, but Z managed to get rid of one of them early on in the game. And then they end up camping later on in the game as well with the artillery, and it was like, come on guys, it's a 2v3, you've taken guerrillas, you've taken artillery, I mean, like, what's going on, you know? And he got the guy was being a bit of a dick about it. But as previous to the last video, Z's pretty much setting up and trying to take the same sort of position. I'm getting 2 cav charge me there, take out my voltigeurs, which necessarily wasn't really a bad charge, to be fair. Costly for their cav. But I don't believe that Voltigeur unit actually killed a single man, so... He didn't really support his left very well. He left it very much unprotected, sort of leaving his cav and maybe a light infantry and a line infantry to sort of hold it back. But I got guard units down there, so it wasn't necessarily the right thing to do. Spain, this is the guy that's cheated. Oh, bloody hell, it's a 2v3 for crying out loud, and they still cheat. If you notice the difference between, like, from this video and my previous video, I'm keeping back away from that little wooded area, just at the bottom of the screen there, where he's got all those Spanish units, light infantry and 2 line. Keeping back out of the way there. And me and Z sort of had a bit of a chat about it previous to the game and said, look, this is a bit of a dangerous spot for me. He's going to stick men in there on need. I can't just stand there and shoot it out with him, with my men in the open. So, as you can see, Z set aside a Semat and a Bashi Bazooks, and he's going to charge that in there, and that's going to help deal with that part, that little problem that I had before. And I'm going to move my line up, but I'm not going to aim obviously in the trees because I'll be shooting his Semats in the back. What I'm going to do is set my line infantry to the left a little bit. This is them going into action now. Right, so yeah, I'm going to move that line infantry over there on the right, but I'm going to be targeting that light infantry, which is out in the open, rather than shooting into the trees. Over here on the on my right, I'm basically sort of winning over there, taking out them units. Obviously, those units were wasted, so didn't have nowhere near enough support. The Spanish line is putting up a pretty good fight though. Z's battling it out in the woods again. And then he's he's holding back a bit further than what he did before. And Spain's also sending men around there as well. But with the situation how it is over here, I'm going to be able to send men over to that flank with Z, where all those men, the Spanish and the British line are massing, a lot quicker than I did in the previous battle. Those units that are in the trees, my line infantry, aren't actually firing any bullets at all. I wanted to save their ammunition. I was doing a good enough job with just my lights and my line firing on the flank. Z, it pretty much is always like shootout or a melee blob in that bit of trees there. I send Swiss foot into melee with the Semats there as well to help them out, help get rid of those units a bit quicker. Now I've broken those units in the forest more or less. I'm just going to swing around up behind Spain on the top of the hill here. Probably the right move for him would have been to retreat back and fall back onto his teammate in the middle. But he didn't do that. Just chose to stand and fight it out. There's a lot of men blubbing around there, but I'm going to start sending men over there soon to help support Z. Do a quick overview on what's going on. Sort of 3 separate engaged battles. But now I've managed to get behind these units, it's really going to overstretch him. I'm taking out his centre. The Semats are rolling him up. This is a view from where I've rolled up behind Spain. These guys aren't going to last too much longer. We're surrounded. I'm actually feel comfortable enough to pull my men away that are in the trees over here to go over and help support Z fighting the other 2 players now, and leave the units that are there behind in the guy's rear to finish off those men that are left there. And I managed to save a whole cavalry unit as well. Right, so the Spanish guy in centre has now realised that they're sort of losing, or think the scales have been tipped sort of evenly. Yeah, they've been tipped evenly. So he's going to bring his artillery into plays now. Britain's pushing up for an attack on Z's left. pictures right, as you can see anyway. So, but I'm moving men round to that flank. Z's going to pull back. There's a lot of men around there, so I'm going to stick some guard down there and stuff. Had a bit of bad positioning. I see that he stuck his light infantry on the flank of his army, so I sort of swung my cav round. I didn't actually end up charging that light infantry with the cavalry in the end, but I didn't really need to. I stuck a... I'll get back when I get back to the area. I'll explain again. So Z's attacking through the trees there as well, over on the right. I've got men moving up slowly in support. I'm trying to take it easy because, like, another mistake that we did last time was pushed it a bit too far too fast. So I let my men. I wanted to let my men rest up a bit because this obviously is a heat fatigue map and they get tired very quickly. And they've already been involved in a pretty hard battle already. But Z's fighting out in these woods over here, but he's going to lose one of those units. Over here you see my French light unit that's stuck in the trees in front of the other unit. Right, that is actually out of bullets. All I've done is stuck it within range of his men, so he just keeps firing at it. Just keeps firing at that unit and wasting his bullets on it. Because it's in the trees and voltigeurs are hard to hit anyway. So they waste a lot of ammunition firing at that. And I moved an old guard and a line unit round to the flank as well. I think it might be a Polish or a Brave unit maybe. So I'm going to be firing up on those Spanish units over there as well. I mean, he swung that Dragoon unit around behind us, but I don't think he really had much of a plan to deal with. He just done it because he didn't actually really accomplish anything with that cavalry unit at all. I've got my last cavalry unit stuck out on the far left, but I'm trying to save that for later on towards the end game. Over here at the moment it's just trying to rout units and kill as many men as possible. Z's going in to hit Britain. But he's also under artillery fire, you've got to remember that as well. From our centre Spanish guy cheating. Spain something or other his name is. Bit of a knob, to be fair. He was a bit of a gobby little twat. Excuse my language, but he was. So another overview on the battle, how it's going. So I can't really attack too much on the right because I want to let our men rest. They've got it sort of held at the moment. So the actual plan was to move around. I'm going to swing my cav round and start trying to get rid of these units over on the left first. We'll get rid of these ones because they're suffering a lot more. Spain sees the danger a lot quicker than the Brit guy does, and he retreats his men back. We're just going to hold and let our men rest on the right. So we've broken this side now basically, and gonna let those men rest a little bit as well, and just hold our areas for the time being, while we discussed and decided what the actual main base for attack would be. Because obviously, what they were going to do was retreat back and hold their area around the artillery. Now this sort of, I mean, I did have to cut out quite a bit because this point it did actually go on like for quite a while, where we were sort of resting and then talking about what we should do to push up the attack, because obviously they were going to camp on their artillery. So I mean, I was sort of pushing up every now and then and pulling back and sort of probing areas to weaken them a bit, try and get as many kills with as little losses as possible. I was able to get rid of another Spanish line unit here, I believe, before that Brit unit managed to swing around and move up on the flank. Right, now in the woods area where I am as France, I'll tell you again in a minute. Right, this is where Britain's firing off my Fusilier line, but they're running low on ammunition now. But I'm going to pull back out of the woods because they were taking a lot more losses than I wanted them to take. Right, now you see I've got 4 units of line, which I'm sort of pulling back out of those trees, and I've got another light unit which you can just see the top poking out of the trees there. Right, that light infantry unit, that Voltigeur unit, is out of ammo, and I just stuck it there, and I had about 3 units of line firing at it, and they weren't hitting nothing. They were just wasting their ammo, wasting their ammo. That Voltigeur unit stood there being shot at for about 15-20 minutes. And they killed about 5-6 men in that time. So if Voltigueur's in the tree, that's the effectiveness of their cover in the trees. So just as a note for anyone who might be interested. Sort of wanted to push up an attack against the tree area there, so I moved the line infantry out on the flank to fire at them, but he chose to do some targeted fire back on me. But I'm going to pull them men back and pull them all back anyway, and let them rest up again and wait to move out and attack again. Right, so what from where we were earlier on, Z had basically on the far side had moved right around the other side of them. Basically we're sort of going for an encirclement on them. Took quite a while because Z walked his men, because running them would just exhaust them. Done a fake charge on my cav there as well, so I could just get him to form square so I could shoot a square up. And with the tree cover as well, I'm going to take minimal losses as he's in the open. Z's now pushing up the attack over on the right hand side there. I'm going to push back my cav back in because I wanted to do another fake recharge in case he wanted to pull his men out of square again, square again. But I'm also going to set them up so they're just in range to shoot the squares, as you can see there. Which shoot a cav, shooting squares, line infantry squares is an excellent tactic to do. They really do. It does like sort of maximise their kills when you do that. Right, so Z's broken through on the right. I'm now moving to position to push up really hard and attack on the left. I've got my cavalry's going to run up and take out that artillery now as well. So I'm also going to push up the other 3 units I've got round here, as you can see, and I'm going to break through these 2 units of line because I do believe, yeah, I've got an old guard there. So they're going to bust through those guys pretty quick. Spain, obviously no resistance to morale shock. So they're going to break pretty easily. The units run out of ammunition, so I'm just going to charge that in for melee. I think it might be an old guard. So bust through, and I've still got my cav running around, just running around, hitting every unit and causing havoc. Basically, we've got the battle now. It's won. So to all the 3 other players, apart from the centre guy who cheated with the artillery and had a big mouth, good game to the other 2 players. Excellent game, Z. Always a pleasure. And I mean, it seems to be our thing. Our 2v3s, outnumbered games. But yeah, cheers guys, and thanks for watching. And I should have another game up again soon. My next video should be a 3v3 clan game against AA clan, involving me, Huntsman, BSA Karlovachko Huntsman, and Huntsman J Martin. Those the end of the game now, so you can view the results and have a look at the unit stats. And thanks for watching guys, and I'll hopefully have another video up again soon. Cheers guys, bye.